Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I'm also a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I want to talk about how to get respect from women when you are struggling to show up as your real self. A lot of men, they put other people ahead of them. I don't think it's a good thing for your mental health. That's why I'm making this video. But a lot of men who are putting others ahead of them and above them, it's sacrificial. It's kind of, there's some part of it's natural, but some part of it is the way society raised men. And so men are putting people above them continuously from a good place. I don't think it comes from anything you're trying to get anything out of them. But what ends up happening is you don't get anything in return. And I want you guys to get things. I want women to see you as the man you really are. And so the first one is actually emotional boundaries. And this is how you can show up as your authentic self rather than someone that's getting manipulated by certain information. You want to be mindful of where your thoughts and reactions are coming from, no matter what, including the videos I make. I don't want to be the source of dysregulation for you either. So if my videos do that, I would suggest unsubscribing and stop watching, right? Because all that I want is to help you guys. And if it's not helping, it's not helpful any longer, right? And that's the same thing. If you are watching a lot of content about, I don't know, negative experiences, you're watching bad things happen in relationships, you're going to have a negative view of relationships, and that's going to show up when you're dating. And so a lot of women might clock that and think, okay, I don't want to be with this person who seems like he's got a lot of baggage, even though it's not even your baggage, which is why I don't want that for you. You're actually listening to other people's baggage and they're just posting it online. Not saying that's what you're listening to, but this is really important because baggage, no matter what, typically can be a little bit difficult in relationships. Most people, especially if they don't have baggage themselves or they don't have much baggage, we all have baggage, right? But not much baggage, they don't want to be around people who do have baggage because subconsciously we want our lives to be as simple as possible if you don't have trauma. That's how typically people who are not traumatized work, because that's how their family works. They want what's best for their children subconsciously. However, if you are someone that comes with a lot of baggage, they realize, okay, it's going to be really difficult for us to not only have a healthy relationship, but also raise our children. It's going to be difficult for us to have a family together. And what's happening is if you're watching information about videos about, I don't know, how bad women are, how bad men are, or how difficult dating is, which there are truths to a lot of this, right? But if you continuously consume this content, what happens is you actually pick up the baggage a little bit subconsciously from the person that was making this video. For example, if there's a woman who is making a video about how terrible her divorce was and her husband cheated on her, etc., and she's saying, watch out, never be a traditional woman and X, Y, and Z, right? So much fear. A lot of women who are watching this might think, oh, I'm never going to be, staying home and raising my children, even though that's a very good way to raise your children, right? They need an adult there. But these videos are making it seem like, okay, being traditional and staying at home and raising your children is a bad thing, right? And it's skewed so much that people are actually actively afraid to get married because they think that's what's going to happen just because some people decided to make negative content on the internet, right? And sometimes these people, whether you can believe it or not, sometimes they're just doing it to get people's reaction. People sometimes thrive off of that. And so, yeah, some people do have negative experiences, but the reality is most people who don't have negative experiences, they don't want to broadcast it. Only negative people really are interested in broadcasting it because they need to vent it out themselves. It could be therapeutic for them in that sense. But people who are happy, they're not going to go out and tell everybody because they want to protect their peace and they want to protect their relationship. And so a lot of times it's important to vet that out and be mindful of that because those women, for example, you guys are experiencing women like this in the dating pool. They're so negative towards men when they literally have barely any experience with men. How can you think that all men are bad if you barely talk to them, right? It can be the same, the flip way around. And I'm saying this not because I want to hurt anybody's feelings, because I don't want you to miss out on good opportunities. Yes, there are women out there who are, incredibly difficult, manipulative, etc. And I don't want you to be with women like that either. But if you can't vet out this information, you can't tell the difference because you're painting them all the same way. And so an emotional boundary, where your emotions, where your thoughts are coming from, very important. If you want to see more exclusive videos with me, more psychological content, more dating content, I post minimum of 5 exclusive videos on our group, and other people post things as well. We post a lot of things, and I think a lot of you would like it. It's a space with a lot of people that have like-minded, like most everybody in the group is very similar to one another and they can learn from one another. And so if you guys are interested in that, that is pinned in the comments. The next one is also important. You want to communicate clearly regarding behaviors that need to be addressed. If a woman says something disrespectful towards you, mention, I don't appreciate being spoken to like that, whatever version, right? I don't appreciate when people talk like that to me. I'm not a person who takes that tone very well. Please don't give me that tone. Whatever it is, it doesn't mean you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you're sarcastic. It doesn't mean you're dismissive. You are direct. And the reason why this is very important is manipulative women who want to get something out of you, immediately that will kind of put them off, right? Because they're thinking, oh, I can't get my way around this guy. That's good. You just vetted her out. But some women who grew up in like a little bit more unhealthy environments, they will think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And they didn't realize it. They might think, oh, this is the right way to do it because they're still learning. Now, healthy women, they will respond positively to this. That's how you know they're a healthy woman, because this is how their dad talks to them. That's how their ex talk to them. That's how people in their workplace talk to them. And that's how they talk to people if someone sets a boundary, like if someone crosses a boundary for them. So they understand this language very well. They're not going to take it offensively. They're going to say, I appreciate you saying that. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. Thanks for letting me know. And that's it. And so this will really help you to vet the differences. It's really important. I don't want people to take advantage of you. The next one is your time is valuable. And I want you to remember that. So if people continuously disrespect your time, this is where you also need to set a boundary. Now, everybody's different regarding timing, okay? Some people are okay with other people being late because they're also flexible with timing. Other people, they have a very strict schedule and they can't really deal with lateness. Another case is some people don't like flakiness. Other people are pretty like they're okay with this. What your perspective is important, but you need to implement on yourself. Maybe you have a friend or a woman who keeps wanting to hang out with you but changing plans. She might not even realize she's doing this. So give her a chance. Say, by the way, I've noticed you've been canceling a lot. To be honest, that's not really how I operate. I would like that we can meet in the middle. Let me know, is there a reason this is happening? And if she gives you an excuse, whatever it is, okay, go ahead and try it. And if it happens again, it's over, right? This relationship cannot continue because you as a person, you want to be flexible. That's why I mentioned needing to be flexible is important, because some people, they need to change, and that's part of life. So being flexible in the beginning. But if at that point you communicated, she still didn't change, then it is over for the relationship between you two, because if you do not set that boundary, I can't do this anymore, and you're not able to, you don't feel comfortable anymore with her, your resentment's going to build up. So you're not going to like her as much. And then she's also going to get away with more disrespect. And so that's just not a good recipe, which is why I say communicate, meet her in the middle. But if you feel like it's to the point where she's not meeting you halfway, you need to cut that off. The next one is be mindful of emotional manipulation and how it translates into your behaviors. I'm not saying you're being manipulative. I'm saying that if she's manipulating you, you're going to have reactions yourself, and you're going to think, what is happening to me? Why am I suddenly more angry? Why am I suddenly such a, short-tempered person? I'm not a short-tempered man. Why am I changing? Why am I suddenly feeling uncomfortable? Why am I suddenly feeling aggressive? Why am I suddenly feeling irritated by her? It's possible that there's something else going on, and that means you need to reflect. You can even say, I need to be direct with you. I feel like you're playing games with me. I need to be honest with you. I kind of feel like this back and forth is getting to me. I don't think this relationship is healthy for me anymore. Whatever the situation is, talk about it in yourself, because that's the bottom line, right? You need to understand that if you say it towards her, if she is an unhealthy person, she might react poorly, and I don't want you to be in an unsafe situation, which is why I'm saying say it towards yourself, because I don't know who this woman is. And the last one is you want to maintain your life. You don't want your happiness to be revolving around one person. If you love her, if you care about her, yeah, she's going to make you happy. That's normal. But you don't want that to be your only source. You still want to keep your hobbies. You still want to keep your friendships. You still want to keep your commitment to her. And you don't want to drop everything on demand. If she's saying late at night, hey, I want to hang out, and maybe she's trying to, sleep with you or whatever she's trying to do, don't drop everything for her if you want more than just that. I understand if that's all the setup is, fine, do what you need to do. But if you want more than just that, you need to set boundaries. You can say, yeah, we can hang out tomorrow. I'm free at this time. You don't have to say, no, I don't want to hang out ever, if you like this girl, but you need to start setting boundaries. Again, if she doesn't appreciate those boundaries, she doesn't respect it, that's when you know you need to cut her off. And if you start implementing some of these things, you will start seeing those types of unhealthy women. They'll start treating you better, but women in general will treat you better, but you also will attract more healthy women because you are speaking the same language they are, okay? And so I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.